Hello everyone, and welcome to the introduction video of the channel. This is where I'll quickly explain the concept surrounding this project. The Species Seeker is a fishing channel dedicated to the endless challenge of catching every species possible and turning them into collectible cards. More than just collecting the species, the cards are meant to capture the moment, in a way that by looking at it even in years from now, it will clearly reproduce a glimpse of the setting in which this species was caught for the first time, which is my favorite part about angling. The whole concept about cards originated as a personal project to accompany me in my thirst for travel, angling, and fish identification, which is why the cards also immortalize the country, the place, the water body, the fishing spot, angling technique, baits used, and even the overall colors of the environment, represented by combinations of shade in the background. It adds a little extra incentive to go for even more diversity in every aspect of this activity, which for me is a bottomless pit of challenges and exploration. Now, I just want to mention that this is not an expert fisherman channel. I actually picked up fishing only a few months ago, and my fishing expertise and even video making ability are quite new, which is also why I think it belongs on YouTube, and I look forward to sharing my journey to the few lost souls out there that will land on this video someday. Now, before starting the real fishing videos, I wanted to sync up my personal challenge with this YouTube project. You see, before I acquired a GoPro and started recording my outdoor experiences, I've already fished and immortalized 21 species, and I would love to give a small rundown of the existing cards, as there are a few interesting specimens, and it would allow the YouTube channel to advance at the same pace as my personal challenge. And by the way, you will always be able to see the current state of the card collection through the Canva link below, which is a public link to my card virtual workshop. And if you do, I recommend clicking on the grid view, just feels better to navigate, and comments are activated in case someone spots something off. So let's start the rundown. The first 8 species are a head start. I dug them up from family souvenirs during my kid and teenage years, and the first one of them is the gilthead sea bream, fished in a lagoon linked to the Mediterranean Sea in France, in the very same lagoon where I fished our second species, the giant goby, fished with a float setup like every angler's beginnings. Now, to the other side of the world, we have our first Asian card, the Indo-Pacific Surgent, fished with only a homemade bamboo rod fishing off a pier. And it's probably the most common fish in the Indo-Pacific coastal waters, but this fish was the origin story of the 2 most otherworldly fishes on the list so far. Because while seeing me struggling with primal equipment, the local fishermen of Celadon offered to take me handline fishing on the reef during the night. And this is where the spot fin porcupine fish comes from, an original moment since we got to see it inflate and deflate in front of us. And for anyone wondering what the process sounds like, here you go. Soon after, we caught my favorite catch yet, the blue spotted ribbontail ray, which was a bit tricky to unhook, but what a fantastic catch. And now going further west in the Maldives, I dug up the photographic remains of a quick handline fishing session from a boat during vacations. Here's a picture in which 2 fishes are mine to claim. The first one is the red humpback snapper on the top left of the image, and the second one is on the bottom left, and it's the yellow lip emperor. We're now coming back to the present and in Europe, where I decided late 2023 that I would pick fishing back up and set myself this species-seeking experience/challenge. The first modern fish and 9th card is the silver rudd, and it's what you would expect, but not how you would expect it, as it somehow got caught with a spoon. They are a very common species around here, and I've caught some better specimens since. Next up in Switzerland, I caught my first European perch with a weird amateur mix between soft lures and maggots, but it worked. Coming to my current hometown, we have our first Parisian fish, the white bream, and contrary to popular beliefs, Paris is actually a very good city for street fishing. Right outside this city, we have our first invasive species of the list, the pumpkin seed sunfish. It's a species imported from the US. They're very colorful and pretty compared to the other ones we have here, and they're quite commonly found in ponds, lakes, and they stay near the shore in the warmer layers of the water to protect their nests, so they're very fun and easy to fish. Now, heading back into the capital, we have a series of urban caught fishes, the first one being the European chub, amongst the biggest silverfish you can find around here. Then we have a smaller cousin, the common bleak, easily spottable from the surface. The only challenge is finding one big enough to actually bite. Finally, we arrive at the common roach, which seems like it would belong earlier in this list. They are the most common fishes alongside the rudd in European freshwater. Some bit rarer fishes showed up on the capital scale, like the European asp, a migratory and predatory fish that can grow much bigger than that and are also fishable with lures. And then we have the silver-eyed, which is quite a rare catch for Paris since they tend to prefer slower moving waters than the Seine. Now displaying the first bonus card, and I say bonus because it's scientifically the same genome as silver rudd, but the golden rudd is visually very different and categorized differently amongst fisheries and fish breeders, so I feel like it deserves its own card. Our second invasive species was caught in Angiers, a brown bullhead catfish that intervened during a microfishing session. Right before the superstar of the list, the largemouth bass. Now, it was pleasant catching a big specimen as my first because usually I start small and go bigger, but this species hit past the 30 centimeters mark right from the start. And finishing up the list with two trout species, the first one being a traditional brown trout, caught while learning the French talk fishing technique, born in the Alps especially to catch trouts in the mountain streams and brooks. I would love to make a video about it someday, and it allowed me to catch my first few brown trouts. And the last one on the list is also the biggest one yet. It's a 42 centimeters sea trout fished with a perch crankbait in the middle of Grenoble. And I'm so glad the timing allowed such beautiful colors into the sky for me to replicate on the card. And that's it for now. I've already caught some new ones, but recorded this time, so they will come out in separate videos soon after this one. And I hope you like the concept and the intentions of the channel. I look forward to joining the fishing content creators of this platform and sharing my journey's progression online. Thank you for listening and watching, and have a great day.